Senator Peterson,
Yes.
Senator Cosgrove,
Thrilled to be here.
Senator Hashmi, Senator Pillion, Senator Locke.
Present.
You have a quorum, Madam Chair.
And if Senator Pillion doesn't start showing up, we're going to fire him from
There
the
he
committee.
is. There's the man.
Thank you all very much for being here. And before we get started, if you're here for the following bills, these bills are not going to be heard today. They're going by for the week. That would be House Bills 128, 355, 406, 1226, 1227, and 1333. Do I need to repeat those? 128, 355, 406, 1226, 1227, and 1333.
Thank you.
Okay. So we will start with our sign-up sheet, Delegate Batten. Hello, Delegate. How are you?
Madam Chairman, members of the subcommittee. House Bill, I'll start with House Bill 526.
Okay.
House Bill 526 states that any non-Virginia student who's currently present in the Commonwealth as a result of being a victim of human trafficking as defined in the bill is eligible for in-state tuition. The bill also requires universities to withhold from the public the directory information for such individuals. And I am happy to answer any questions that the committee members might have.
Are there questions to the delegate?
I have a question.
Senator Peterson.
How do you determine whether or not somebody's a victim of human trafficking?
That's a great question. I actually had that conversation this morning with one of the advocates for the groups that helps these individuals. So if you look on page 2 of the legislation,
Right.
starting on page line 62, typically they will have a criminal record, but not all the time. And so what I was discussing with, I would say, the advocacy organization in my area is when a university admits someone, what documentation is that person required to provide in order to prove that they are a victim of human trafficking? And they indicated that typically, because this bill is narrowly tailored, this would only apply to someone who doesn't already meet the residency requirements here in the Commonwealth.
Right.
So if you're here for a year, you don't even have to go through this process. So this would typically apply to people who are currently in a safe house or in some sort of nonprofit organization where their documentation is maintained by that organization.
So it says it's a certification of such status by a federal, state, or local agency or not-for-profit agency, one of whose primary missions is to provide services to victims of human trafficking. Okay. All right. That's the answer. Okay.
And Madam Chair, if I may, I was curious because I wanted to ensure that the victims would not have to necessarily disclose their criminal background if they did not desire to do so. And I believe that the nonprofit agency part of that covers that concern.
And I assume this would be exempt from FOIA?
Yes, my understanding.
That completes your question, Senator
Yes, ma'am.
Peterson?
Yes.
Okay. Are there other questions?
I move to report, Madam Chair.
Hold on.
Okay.
Are there those here in support of House Bill 526?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members. My name is Tom Matorsio. I'm an Associate Director with the Virginia Catholic Conference, and we're pleased to support this legislation. We believe that this provides an opportunity for victims of human trafficking that would not otherwise be available, in particular to those victims who, as the delegate just mentioned, have not been in the state for 1 year. And so we do appreciate the bill being brought forward, and we have supported in-state tuition for undocumented immigrants, and we believe that this is a very good step forward to help these victims get on with their life and give them an opportunity to pursue an education that'll lead to a successful career. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone in opposition? Okay. Now you may move. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that House Bill 526 be reported. All those in favor, please say, call the roll, please.
Senator Peterson,
Aye.
Senator Cosgrove, Senator Hashmi, Senator Pillion, Senator Locke.
Aye.
Ayes 5, noes 0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have another bill before the subcommittee. That's House Bill 539.
Okay.
Okay, so House Bill 539 requires colleges to disclose on their application form that certain criminal convictions may disqualify applicants from pursuing their intended course of study or living in student housing. If asked by a prospective applicant, the university must also disclose information about which criminal convictions preclude individuals from pursuing certain courses of study or student housing. This bill is, I would say, a complement to legislation that was passed in 2020 that prohibited colleges from asking applicants about their criminal background. During committee discussion and subcommittee discussion about that legislation, universities indicated that they would actually continue running background checks on applicants who are applying to study in certain fields and applying for certain types of student housing. For example, if you have a drug conviction in your background, you're not able to pursue a pharmacology degree. And if you have a sex offense in your background, you might not be eligible for certain types of housing. And that actually creates a situation where an individual might go through the entire application process in good faith and then be unexpectedly denied admission after the college runs that background check. So this bill simply requires colleges to be transparent about their admission processes and give applicants the information they need in order to make an informed decision when they're applying. And I'm happy to answer any questions from the subcommittee members.
Questions to the delegate on this bill? Yes, Senator Hashmi.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Delegate. Isn't that already a part of the process when we made these changes to this part of the code? I think it was in 2020. It was to remove the barrier that certain individuals were facing if they came with criminal records, that they were too early in the admission process, that was being used to deny them admission. And this was really to open up access to individuals who had previous criminal records. But elsewhere in the code, isn't it already identified that the institution may deny housing to an individual with certain felony records or criminal records? Similarly, the denial for them to enter into certain degree programs, as you pointed out, if they have a drug conviction and so forth. Isn't that already in the code for us?
Yes, Madam Chair, the universities do have the capacity to deny admission for those reasons. My bill simply requires that they let applicants know that those things may be considered. I think many of us have had children who've gone through the college application and admission process, and I think it's incumbent upon the college to be transparent that they might look at those things down the road. And if a student wants to know or a potential applicant wants to know what those barriers might be, I believe that their college should be required to tell them before they get to the point where they've already gone through the entire application process.
Senator Cosgrove.
Thank you. Madam Chairman, I'm looking at the bill, and it actually makes a lot of sense because, you know, some people go on to college, they take out student loans, they go greatly into debt, and I think it should be incumbent upon the institution of higher learning to kind of guide them, counsel them as to if they do have a criminal background. While it doesn't affect their admission to the university, it could very well affect their course of study in their career. If you just take anything dealing with nuclear sciences, even chemical sciences, if you need a security clearance, any of that, all of that would be in jeopardy because of that particular background. This doesn't disadvantage the student at all. All it does is help guide them to make proper decisions about what they're going to study.
Madam Chair, if I
Does this do that?
Yes, Madam Chair, this does do that. That is the intent of the bill. It does not stop anyone from applying. It simply, when they are looking at that application form, it says on there that there are certain things that might be considered. If you would like more information on that, here's the contact information for the college, and it helps them make an educated decision about what career field might make sense for them or what housing options might be available. And there's nothing in here that would require the student to disclose that. It would simply be information to help them make better choices.
Are there those here who wish to support this legislation? Are there those here in opposition?
I would move to report, Madam Chair. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 539 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. Did you say anything, Chad?
I did.
Oh.
You didn't hear my booming voice? I said aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Delegate Rome.
Hello, Madam Chair, and thank you to the members of the subcommittee here. I have a handout for y'all if you'd like to have this. This is for HB 582. And I think, did I give one of y'all 2 copies? Okay. Sorry, I have to give one to Senator Pelion. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Former colleague, good to see you.
Yes, good to see you.
Okay, so HB 582, very simple bill. This one would basically require colleges and universities to include a link on their websites for eligible students to be able to apply for SNAP and to include information about SNAP during orientation. Now, the reason that we bring this forward is 2 things. So one, what we're doing is we're building on the existing precedent we already established in 2019 when we passed my bill HB 2400. That one requires all K through 12 school divisions to have an online application for parents to be able to apply for free and reduced meals for their kids. This is more geared toward the college setting, and so SNAP basically fills in that role in terms of eliminating on-campus hunger. And what you'll see in the handout that I give you here is the amount of students who we believe, who Chev believes actually in this case, are eligible for SNAP versus the actual enrollment, and you will see a very stark difference between the two. And the reason for that, as the statistics we found, is that 63% did not apply because they did not know about SNAP. And so the whole point of this is to make sure that people who are putting themselves through college, these are people who are working 20 hours plus a week. They don't have their parents who are paying their way. They're trying to just take care of themselves and get to the next level of where they want to go in life, that they have a pathway to do that. And we believe that SNAP is a great, great tool to make sure that people are able to take care of their needs. And with that, Madam Chair, I'm happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions?
Madam Chair,
Senator Peterson?
does anybody oppose this?
In the House, some did, but we didn't have anyone speak against it.
No, I mean any groups.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Senator Hashmi.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Delegate. This is such a great bill, and I really appreciate you bringing it forward. I did not know that students in colleges and universities should be applying to the SNAP program, and I know so many of our institutions have established food banks to serve the needs of their students, and there is such dire need that we continue to assist the students who are food insecure. So thank you very much for bringing the bill.
Thank you.
Anyone here to speak in favor? Yeah. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Catherine Brake, and I'm here to advocate as a private citizen. When I started college, I personally didn't actually have any issues with food access or food insecurity. However, a very close friend of mine did. And he made it through his first year really well until he got to finals week when he realized he didn't have any groceries left and he didn't have any money for groceries. He had a single box of Ritz crackers that he rationed for the entire week, and he made it. And he tells it as a joke now, but I don't think it's a funny story. I came here a few weeks ago. I spoke on behalf of this bill as well as another one, and I told 2 other individuals' stories then. That's 3 individuals who I know personally have been impacted by this as college students. I would encourage every one of you to go into your communities and speak to people you know directly, your neighbors, your church family, whoever. Ask about nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and even children. I think it would really surprise you how many people you probably know and have interacted with who are impacted by this directly. And more importantly, these are individuals you likely respect and hope the best for in life. Why would you not do everything you can to make sure that they're getting that informational access? Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Jared Calfee with Virginia 21. We know that there's many college students in Virginia currently struggling with hunger issues, food insecurity and hunger. And last year, this body saw fit to make the SNAP program more accessible to our college students. But as the delegate has shown, students don't know that this program is available to them. They don't know how to apply. And so it seems like a good common sense notion to make sure that those students most in need of taking advantage of this program are aware of it and understand how to apply so that we can alleviate some of those hunger issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the subcommittee. My name is Salam Bhatti with the Virginia Poverty Law Center, here to support the bill. A lot of students don't know about SNAP, and as a result, we're seeing the rise of food pantries on campuses, and I think that's just a bigger problem. This bill is going to help let people know that SNAP exists and how to apply for it, which is the biggest hurdle. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone here in opposition? Senator Cosgrove.
Question actually of the chair. And Delegate
I ate
Roan.
hot dogs, Senator Cosgrove.
Well,
Yeah.
the question is basically if all of a sudden we have this influx of college students who are taking advantage of SNAP, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, are we then going to put strain on the existing funding for the program that's there now that is currently being utilized?
Strain on which program?
SNAP.
Chair, I would tell the senator in this case that because you're dealing with something that is already inherently federally funded in the first place, that you're dealing with people who are already eligible for this. And because we're not creating a new eligibility pool, we're just simply telling the people who should be able to, be enrolled in this how to do it. There shouldn't be any additional financial strains either to the state or to anyone else, which is why we didn't have a FISC come back for it.
All right, Madam Chairman, I'm going to support the bill. I just wanted to answer the question.
Madam Chair.
Senator Pillion? No, Senator
Peterson. I'm going to go ahead and move we report the bill. I think this is kind of a no-brainer and a nice piece of legislation.
It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 582 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you, Delegate Roan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, members of the subcommittee.
Delegate Delaney.
Hello, Madam Chair and members of the committee.
Thank you.
So I have House Bill 419 before you today.
419, okay.
So this is a bill that also, I know we have several bills in the space of literacy this year, and this is one of the bills that is helping to address the literacy crisis in Virginia. We do know that many children are falling below benchmark on Pell screeners and are failing the third grade SOL. And one problem that's been identified is that teachers are not consistently prepared to teach children how to read using evidence-based literacy instruction. So the bill before you will ensure that that our institutes of higher education will provide that instruction to teachers who are going through their programs, and it will also align a review of that criteria with the existing audits that our higher institution organizations are already required to do. This will just add in that element to that existing review that's already done. This bill is supported by Decoding Dyslexia, who I know is not able to come and testify today, but I believe they might have passed out some information advocating for this bill to you prior to the meeting of the committee. One interesting thing that they note is, again, that teachers are not consistently prepared to teach children how to read using evidence-based literacy instruction programs that are grounded in science-based reading research. And out of the 31 undergraduate and graduate educator prep programs in Virginia that were audited by the National Council on Teacher Quality, only 6 of the 31 programs were found to accurately teach all 5 components of early literacy. So this will help correct that and make sure that everyone who's graduating from a Virginia Institute of Higher Education to educate our children is trained in all 5 of those components and ready to help make sure that all of our children learn to read.
Are there questions?
Madam Chair.
Senator Hashmi.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Delegate. Just, you mentioned the other literacy bills that we have going through both chambers, and does this work nicely in collaboration with those bills?
Madam Chair, I would say yes, it does. In fact, we had actually made some amendments along the way in the House to make sure that we were aligning the effective date with the larger literacy bill that's coming through, just to make sure that everything goes into effect at the same time.
Other questions? Are there those here in support of House Bill 419? Anyone here in opposition?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that House Bill 419 be reported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you,
Bill's
Madam Chair.
reported.
Thank you,
Thank
committee.
you.
Thank you to my Senate.
Okay, well, that completes our docket. Next
Too
week, we're
easy.
going, no, it won't be easy next week, so you're just easy for this week, okay? So, all right, see you next week.